Senator from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few weeks ago, when I started preparing to give this speech, I must admit I was overwhelmed with emotion. 1 year ago tomorrow, a brutal attack fueled by hate led to the deaths of 9 parishioners at Mother Emanuel AME Church in my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina. A year later, the idea that someone's heart could be filled with so much anger and venom is still jarring. And then, over the weekend, we saw it again. In Orlando, Florida, a brutal attack fueled by hate led to the deaths of 49 people at Pulse nightclub. This was an assault against the people of Orlando, the state of Florida, and the United States as a whole. We can and we will have a much longer discussion on ISIS, Islamic terror, and the steps that must be taken in those areas. But today, as Orlando mourns and Charleston remembers, I want to return to 365 days ago and show how, with the world watching, love overcame hate. On the night of June 17, 2015, I was here in Washington, much like this week, debating the NDAA, our military priorities. But in Charleston, there was a Bible study. Cynthia Hurd, Susie Jackson, Ethel Lee Lance, DePayne Middleton Doctor, Tawanza Sanders, Daniel Simmons, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, Myra Thompson, Felicia Sanders, and her beautiful 5-year-old granddaughter, Polly Shepard, and my friend, Reverend Clemente Pinckney, gathered together for a Bible study at Mother Emanuel. Among them was a young man, new to Emanuel, a young man that they welcomed into their presence with God's love. And while they could not possibly see the darkness in his heart, they showed him the loving nature of their own hearts. So much so that he later told police that he almost did not go through with this vicious, vile attack because everyone was so nice to him. But tragically, almost was not enough. In an instant, the horrors unleashed by this young man changed South Carolina forever. I remember getting a phone call about 9 p.m. on that Wednesday night from one of my friends, the sheriff's office, about the shooting at Mother Emanuel. Reports continued to come in, so I text my friend, Clemente Pinckney, hoping that he would respond and tell me what was going on at the church. And looking at my text from June 17, 2015 at 10:31 p.m., I asked him, "Are you and your parishioners okay?" And it was met with silence. Silence that is still deafening. Silence that I will never forget. He should have been able to text back. He should have been able to go home, see his family, raise his daughters. He should be able to have gone on and finished his work as a state senator at the State House, to continue spreading God's love. As we people of faith know, sometimes things simply don't go as they're planned. But as the families of the Emanuel 9 showed us, God had a plan. Within 48 hours, these men and women set the tone for my grieving city, my grieving state, and my grieving nation. They told the killer on Friday morning, about 36 hours later, looking into his eyes, they said to the killer of their family members, "I forgive you." Family member after family member after family member after family member, 9 consecutive times, said, to the shock and the amazement of the world that was watching, "I forgive you. Your life can be better in God's hands." Those of us here today, we cannot even imagine how hard that must have been. How, in their immense grief, these families chose to take this unique path. But they did. We as a nation, as a state, and certainly as a city, are forever thankful. I am fortunate enough to have had the opportunity to talk to many and all of the families at some point, and I continue to be amazed at their grace and their dignity, their righteousness. They have truly been the rock on which we all stand. In the days and weeks after the shooting, Charleston and South Carolina came together like never before. As the clergy and parishioners of Mother Emanuel said after the attack, "Wrong church, wrong people, wrong day. The wrong place to try and sow seeds of discord, the wrong people to try and break their faith, and the wrong day to try and bring down the people of South Carolina." Last summer, we saw chapters of history closed and new ones opened. While the debate over the Confederate flag may be the most widespread symbol of Emanuel's aftermath, the actions and the words of folks across Charleston and South Carolina are the most enduring. Looking ahead, we have come so far, but we certainly still face many, many challenges. It is going to take a lot of effort and strength to stand together in times of division. It is going to be hard sometimes in a world that is too often so full of hate to know that we are still taking steps forward. And it's going to require continuing conversation on issues that are uncomfortable for some, but necessary for all. So where are we headed from here? 3 words show where I believe that we as a nation are headed. 3 words show where I believe that we as a nation must head. They are simple words. Words found in 1 Corinthians 13. Faith, hope, and love. We saw these in abundance throughout South Carolina over the last year, and they remain our final goal. As I head back to Charleston tonight, I will be thinking about the events honoring the Emanuel 9 tomorrow. I'm certain there will be tears and lots of tears. There will be moments, as they have been in the last few minutes, that are hard to speak, to truly show what all this means to all of us. But the world will also see this from Charleston, South Carolina. They will see that you cannot destroy love with hate, that you cannot kill the spirit. We have not been torn down by this fury of hate, but instead we will continue to build a bridge, brick by brick, to a future without hate, a future filled with faith, hope, and love. So I will close by asking one more time, as I did a little more than a year ago in this very same place, for a moment of silence to remember Cynthia Hurd, Susie Jackson, Ethel Lee Lance, DePayne Middleton Doctor, Tawanza Sanders, Daniel Simmons, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, Myra Thompson, and my good friend, former state senator, the Reverend Clemente Pinckney. You are forever in our hearts.